Okay, just kind of want to talk about some parent function stuff that we've done in the past. We took the absolute value, we added an h and a k, and moved it left and right, up and down. We did the same thing with a quadratic. We put an h and a k in, and again, it moved it left and right, up and down. Your a value, it moved it I shouldn't say moved it, but it made it narrower or wider. It also reflected it or didn't reflect it, so it was opening up or opening down. Okay, well, we're going to apply the same thing to a couple different graphs. We're just going to make them apply to what would be the square root graph and the cube graph. So let's talk about a parent function here. So the square root, now the square root does have some restrictions. I can take the square root of 0 and get 0, 1 and 1, but I'm not going to go to 2 because I don't know what the square root of 2 is. I'm going to go to 4. So that gives me 2, and if I want, maybe 9 and 3. So we'll get 0, 0, 1, 1, and then over 4 up to, and that's the graph of an absolute value. Your domain, x is greater than or equal to 0. We didn't have any negative numbers. And your range is everything is above the y-axis or the x-axis, so actually y is greater than or equal to 0 as well. Okay, and we'll move that up, down, left, right as well. Like, for instance, here. This here would be a plus 4, but remember it's the opposite, so it's going to move it to the left 4, and that is going to move down 1. So my starting point is now going to be over at 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1. Go with the same values I did in my parent function, 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, and 2. But now, because of that 2, I'm going to go through and I'm going to double all of my y values. So 2 square roots of x. So 0, 2, and 4. So there's my first point, 0, 0. I'm going to go over 1, up 2. I'm going to go over 4 and up 4. And it looks something like that. Okay, now my domain is x is bigger than or equal to negative 4. Where did I get that? I took the x plus 4 that was underneath the square root, and I said it's got to be bigger than or equal to 0, because I can't take the square root of anything smaller than 0. So subtract 4, and there's my domain. My range is going to be y is greater than or equal to negative 1. How did I get that? I looked at my k value of minus 1. It went down 1. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to go to the left 3 because of that, but I'm going to go up 5. And same graph, so x, square root of x, and I'll eventually have a negative 2 square roots of x. So 0, 0, and 1, 1, 4, 2. Again, if you want to go 9 and 3, that works. We're going to multiply those all by negative 2. If you notice, these positive values that I have in my middle table here will turn into negative ones, which is fine because a negative a value should make it a reflection. So at negative 6. So 0, 0, I'm going to go over 1 and then down 2. I'm going to go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to look something like this. Now my domain is x is greater than or equal to negative 3. Again, I took this stuff underneath the denominator, or underneath the square root, made it greater than or equal to 0, and put that in. And then now my range, my y, it's going to be less than this time. And it's always my k value, that 5. Okay, cube root. Okay, don't get caught in the cube root because like the square root, we've got certain numbers like 0 works. 1, and now I'm going to go to 8 because the cube root of 8 is 2. But again, we talked about this with our exponent rules and all the days before. Negatives are possible underneath the cube root. So negative 1 and negative 2. So negative 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down to negative 2. So domain x is now back to all real numbers because I can have no restrictions on that, and so is my range. So just going to take and I'm going to move some cubes around. So that means it's going to move 2 to the right and up 1. Okay, and then from 2, 1, I'm going to go over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down 2. Over 1, down 1. Up 1, down 1. And somewhere over there, and there is my cube root graph. So x is all real numbers, and y is all real numbers. Gonna move over to the right 3 and up 2. So from there, and -8, -2, -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 8, and 2. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to multiply those by -2. So that's going to turn to 4. That's going to turn to 2, 0, -2, and -4 by multiplying these all by that -2. And it's going to make the negative turns positive and positive turns negative because, again, it should be reflected. It's a negative number. So I'm going to go over 8, go down, rather 4, or sorry, not down, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to go over 1, up 2. So it's got a little bit of a curve like that. Over 1, down 2, over 8, and then down 4. So it's going to look something along the lines of that. X is all real numbers, and y is all real numbers as well. And that's graphing square roots and cube roots.